Greetings. Welcome to Earthandcup. I'm Mike Poole, and today we are going to take a look at learning how to walk again. I know when people come to Tai Chi class for the first time, I always tell them they're going to learn to breathe first, and then I'm going to teach them how to walk again. So it's all good. So we're going to look at walking. Some people call it Tai Chi walking. Some people just call it walking. We're going to do kind of break down walking forward, walking laterally side to side, taking some steps going to the back, and then we're going to look at turning. We'll look at 90-degree turns, and then we'll look at 180-degree turns. So that's what we're going to look at today. All right, so make sure we're all good here. Here we go. If you think about your foot, right, when we walk, our foot is made to walk, of course, without shoes. So if you think about how our foot is dynamically, we have this heel that has a nice hard foundation and it's rounded, right? So, and then you've got the ridge of your feet, and then you've got the balls of your feet. We have toes, and then we have our arch, right? So that's the foot. So heel, the ridge, balls, toes, arch. So when we walk, what we really want to try to do when we're walking forward, right? So often, when we walk, we generate momentum with our head, and then we come down flat-footed on a weighted foot. Fall prevention-wise, we know that's just not helpful and not a good way to walk. One, it jars the system. Two, all our weight is forward, and wherever that foot goes, of course, if you slip, wherever your foot goes, your feet will go also. So we're just going to take a look. So when we walk forward, your foot's going to come through. You want your toe to be pointed up. And then you're going to come down on that heel. You're going to roll along that ridge to the ball. The ball is like the stopper. And then you grip with your toes, and then that creates like a little suction cup with that arch. And then you pull your weight forward, right? So let's just kind of do that with our seated first, right? So you can pick your foot up, down, roll to the ball, grip. Pick this foot up, toe comes through, heel, roll to the ball, grip with the toes, right? So that's our walking, right? We can try it again with each feet, right? So that's how we do it. Clear my walking space here, right? So how that looks when we're standing, we want to try to get away from this generating momentum with our head. And we really want all of our weight to come forward all at one time. And we're going to lead with our core, with our center, with our abdomen, right? So we're not getting this leaning, right, which causes us to come flat-footed. So the first thing we do is we shift our weight to one side, right? So we always want to step with an empty foot. So we shift our weight to one side. We take that step, land on the heel, roll to the ball, grip with the toes. Now we transfer our weight. Now this foot is an empty foot. It comes through, lands, toes up, roll to the ball, grip, pull yourself through. Right? So here's, and so my momentum is waiting until that foot is in place, then I shift my weight. That way, if I put my foot down and all of a sudden it slips, I am theoretically in balance and I don't have to fall to the ground, right? So if you think about it, we're going to take a few steps, right? However you choose to do it. So just think about, right? Shift your weight, foot comes through, shift, this empty foot comes through, toe up, heel, roll to the ball, grip with the toes, transfer the weight. Toes up, heel down, roll to the ball, transfer the weight. Toe up, heel down, roll to the ball, transfer the weight. One more each side. Right. Okay. I'm going to do it coming to you. So it's nice and easy. So you're just, this foot swings through, toe up. So we're generating, of course, momentum. We're shifting consciously, transferring the weight, shifting the weight forward. We're not generating initially with our hand. Right? So that's moving forward. Heel, roll to the ball, grip of the toes, pull yourself through. So now, going laterally, side to side, instead of going heel to the ball, we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to go ball to the heel, right? So once again, if we're going to go this direction and we're going to go side to side, we're going to shift our weight onto this leg. This foot picks up, it goes a little farther out. It's on the ball, roll to the heel, shift your weight. Now this foot is empty. I'm going to lift the heel and then lift the ball, put the ball down where I want it, roll to the heel, shift my weight. I'm going to go two more going this way, right? I'm going to turn sideways so you can see how my foot operation is there. And I'm not taking a huge step out. I'm just going a little bit past, and then I'm bringing this foot back in, right? So you can kind of see what it looks like dynamically with the foot. I've shifted my weight. I've pulled the heel. I dropped the ball down, moved to the heel. Now I shift my weight, and then I bring this foot in. Okay. So you're still moving an empty foot. Right. Come back front, we'll go this way now. Same thing. We're going to shift our weight, pick up the heel, drop the ball, drop the heel, shift the weight, bring this underneath. Very nice. Very nice. Good job. So if you think about it, the way our foot is dynamically, right? If you think about how the foot is, right? If we're in proper alignment, our heels, our hips, our shoulders, and our ears are all in proper alignment in one line, right? So if we start to come forward, it's not really till our foot, our head, goes past our toes that then we're out of balance, right? So we've got the distance of our foot to kind of travel to keep me in balance as we move forward, right? Side to side, it's past the blade of your foot before I'm out of balance. So I've got dynamically, I can shift really within the blade of my foot before I am out of balance. So I've got, about half the width of my foot, right? Here's the trick. Now we're going to talk about taking steps to the rear. You're on your heel. You don't have too far to go back before I'm out of balance. This is where taking a step back is very difficult because we're really kind of right on the edge, right? So as soon as, if I would generate momentum with my head going back, it doesn't take much, right? So stepping back, this is where it is just as crucial, if not more, than stepping forward or stepping laterally to the side. So we're going to use the same ball roll to the heel. Ball roll to the heel to step back. Same thing. You're going to shift your weight. I'll turn and show you here. You shift your weight. You're going to pick up your heel, pick up the ball, set it back, get the foot all the way on the ground with the heel. Now we're going to transfer our weight. Now this is an empty foot. It comes back, heel down, transfer the weight. Ball, heel, transfer the weight. ball to heel, transfer the weight. And turn sideways so you can see how the feet are working dynamically, right? So I'm shifting my weight. I'm going to take a step with an empty foot, ball to the heel. Now I'm going to shift my weight. Now this is an empty foot. I'm going to put it back, ball to the heel, shift my weight, ball to the heel, shift my weight, ball to the heel, shift my weight. Right? So ball to the heel. If I'm not able to get my heel down, right, before I shift my weight, I've taken too big a step. Take a smaller step, right? You should be able to get your whole foot on the ground before you shift your weight. And that's going any direction, but more so going to the rear because of the point of balance, right? Same thing here. If I can't get my whole foot down, I've taken too big a, without transferring weight forward, I've taken too big a step. Same thing going side to side. If I take too big a step, I've got to move my weight to get out there. So really think about your how big your steps are, and just come to realize how big the steps are. Right? Another thing in stepping is the distance between your feet. So I always say your feet are hip width apart. So they really should. Your feet come up and they insert, your femur inserts into your hip joint, right? So you don't walk like this, right? We don't walk with these big wide stances. We also shouldn't walk on a tightrope either. And so often that's where we get into trouble, is because when we start to walk, we put one foot in front of the other, right? And then we're walking on a tightrope. We really should have space between our feet, right? Sometimes we'll say 2 fists between your feet. If I just say, you want that distance to be about hip width apart, right? So that your legs are straight up and down. So when we walk, right, we don't want our feet to come closer together. So I take this step here. And then I take this step here. So I've still got that distance. If I bring this foot up, I'm my 2 fists apart. Right? I like floors. This has, a plank floor. So, I say I need to keep 1 plank between my feet. So if I'm walking, and then we get into this, and I look down like, oh, hey, my feet are too close, right? So if you somehow have lines, you can always check yourself. Or you just video yourself here, just like that, right? Same thing going to the rear. When you step, going to the rear, I want to keep that distance. I don't want to bring this foot back here behind me, right? So often we'll get these feet just kind of on a line, and that makes us more unstable. So you want to keep that foot. So instead of coming just kind of think straight back, you kind of think back and out a little bit, and then I'm shifting my weight back and out. Right? So that my feet stay that 2 fists apart, that hip width apart. Right? So, yeah. So that's stepping forward, stepping side to side, stepping to the rear. I'm going to do a little, we're going to talk about taking a 90-degree turn. I'm going to turn this way first, right? So if I want to take, I can turn, but if you notice, my feet are in a line now, right? So what you want to do, if I'm going to turn this way, I'm going to shift my weight to this foot. I'm going to take a step over and up with this empty foot, and I'm going to turn the foot in. Then I'm going to shift my weight and bring my center around, and then I can take that step. Right? So we're going to do that all the way around. So once again, I'm shifting my weight, taking a step, turning that foot in. Now I'm shifting my weight to this foot, and now that this is an empty foot, I can readjust, turn and face the direction I'm going, and then take that step. Okay? So we're going to do that in a circle. We're going to go this direction first, right? So shift your weight, step, turn the foot in, shift your weight, readjust, step, then bring this trail leg up. Once again, shift your weight, foot out, shift my weight. Now I'm going to turn to the back. I take that step, bring the foot up. Once again, shift my weight, step out, turn the foot in, shift my weight, readjust, take my step, bring this back foot up. One more time, shift my weight, bring the foot in, shift my weight, turn, take my step, bring this foot up. I'm going to do the same thing going the opposite direction. So shift it out, shift our weight, step in, shift my weight, adjust, take my step, bring my foot up. So now I'm going to shift my weight, step, turn the foot in, shift my weight, readjust, step, bring my foot up, shift my weight, step, turn my foot in, shift my weight, adjust, step, bring my foot up. I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to be facing the front. Shift my weight, step, shift my weight, turn my foot in, step, bring my foot up. So now we just did 4 90-degree turns going around the circle, right? So just, if you need to take more steps to get around, so here we're taking 1, and we shift, and then step. If you need to take more, that's fine. So maybe you shift and you take a step out, and then you readjust this foot and you shift the weight, and then you bring this foot around again and shift the weight, and then you readjust and go. That's fine too. Whatever it takes you to kind of get turned around, right? But you're always moving and shifting on an empty leg, right? So I've shifted my weight. This is an empty foot. I can move it, turn it in. Now I shift my weight. Now I can adjust this empty foot, or I can move it to adjust it, right? So let's look at 180-degree turns, right? 180-degree turns. So I want to go from facing this way to facing that way, right? Same thing. I'm going to shift my weight. I'm going to take a step. I'm going to shift my weight. I'm going to readjust and step here. Now I'm going to shift my weight here, take another step. Basically, I've just made a 90-degree turn. And now I'm going to shift my weight. We take that adjustment, step, bring my foot up. We can do the same thing going the opposite way. I'm going to shift my weight. I take my step, shift my weight, readjust this foot, shift my weight, bring this foot through, shift my weight, readjust, step, and come through. It's the same thing here. We do it in, if we start from coming to the back, I'm going to come around this way now. I'm shifting, I'm taking 1 step. I'm shifting, I'm taking 2 steps. I'm shifting, I'm taking my 3rd step. Then I'm shifting and readjusting. Now I'm coming forward. I did that in 3 adjustment steps before I stepped to the opposite direction. If you need to do that in 5 steps, then do it in 5 steps. Once again, I can go 1, shift, 2, shift, 3, shift, 4, shift, 5, shift. Now I'm going the opposite direction. I can take that step. Right? So if it takes you 5, if it takes you 3, if it takes you 7, whatever it takes you to make that turn all the way around, right? Step and shift, step and shift, step and shift. Right? So we have talked about looking at our feet and how we might walk. We've taken some steps going forward, heel, roll to the ball, grip with the toes, transfer the weight. We talked about going sideways, shift your weight, step out a little past your hip, then shift, bring that other foot in, right? And that's ball, roll to the heel. We've talked about stepping to the rear, shift our weight, foot goes back, ball to the heel. Now I transfer my weight. Now this is an empty foot, ball, roll to the heel. Now I transfer my weight. And then we've talked about 90-degree turns and 180-degree turns, right? You go, well, Mike, What about a 270-degree turn, right? So if I'm facing this way, and 270 degrees would be facing that way, right? And so instead of taking a lot of time to turn around that way, I would just say, hey, just do that 90-degree turn, and we're going that way anyway. We don't have to do a 270-degree turn. Unless we're doing Tai Chi, and that's what the form dictates, but out in the world, in real life, if we're going to go that way, just turn and go that way instead of spinning all the way around. Right? Yeah, I hope that helps. This is a little walking, a little stepping, a little turning. Hopefully, you can put this on, and it gives you some drills you can work with to practice your stepping. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Peace.